In this video, we will be reviewing the Captorra intake screen itself. It is important to note that our intake screens are customizable for your group to meet your needs. We have a number of case types already built out in the system, which gives us a nice starting point, but changes can also be made to make these scripts as needed. It is also important to note that we have a unique ability to hide and expose certain fields based on the way a previous question is answered. This helps your staff not to have to navigate around information that may or may not be needed, as Captorra lets them know if additional information is needed. A good example of this is when a caller is different than who the potential client is going to be. You'll notice if I change this answer to a yes, you'll see some additional fields open up letting me know that these are now needed before I move forward. You'll also notice that these fields can become required, denoted by this red asterisk. As we move forward, I want to cover a couple of fields related to tracking marketing information as well. We have the contact source, which tracks how this person reached out to us so that we can see how many phone calls we're receiving versus web leads, for an example. And then the marketing source field actually allows us to track how this person heard about our firm. This list is fully customizable to your group, and in the integrations video I actually talk about different ways we can automatically track this information for you. Now we move into the case type, which will dictate the specific information that we want to gather from this potential client depending on the type of case they might have. What I really want to point out in this video is the unique way that Captorra can handle case-specific questionnaires. We use a unique solution called dialogues that allows you to build in logic into your case-specific questionnaires. For example, I'll use the auto accent and we'll trigger the dialogue here. And you'll notice as I highlight one of the questions that there is a tip screen to the right. This tip screen is specific to the question and can be easily managed in the background. I'll now skip down to the bottom of this page and point out that this question of did the accident take place on the job defaults to a no. If I leave that as the answer and click the next button on the dialog, it gives me a specific set of questions based on that previous question's results. Now if I go back and change that answer to a yes and then click next again, you'll notice that the dialog delivers completely different questions now related to a potential workers' comp claim. Now as I move through to the end of the dialog, there's also the capability of utilizing the logic base to call actions for your staff as well. The final question of is any portion of this claim settled defaults to a no here. If I change this to say both, you'll notice that the final screen lets my staff know that we cannot accept the case and can even give them specific dialogue to deliver to the potential client. And then if I go back and change it back to a no, which it defaulted to, and click next, the final screen lets my staff now know that we can accept this case and even gives them direction on how to proceed. Now once the dialogue is finished, it actually takes us back to the standard Captorra intake screen that we started from. And the last piece I'd like to point out on this screen is the intake milestones over to the right. These keep track of the different statuses the intake has reached, and I cover those statuses in the workflow video.